All right, what's going on, guys? It's Cop Pizzle. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this live. Just a real quick video, just to kind of get this out there, and just figured I'd do it live, just real fast. And so, wow, interesting morning for the Giants. Really crazy morning. I got to be honest. So I was wrong, but I was right, and I'll get to that in just a second. So. Let's talk about it. So Matt Rule was going to be the head coach of the New York Football Giants. It was pretty much, a done deal. Both sides were flirting with one another. Both sides really wanted it. In the end, a desperate organization in the Carolina Panthers offered Matt Rule an unbelievable contract, 7 years, $60 million. And quite honestly, if you've ever had job interviews or job opportunities out there, you're obviously going to take the offer that is better for you and your family. So I can't be really be mad at Matt Rule. Obviously, he made a business decision. He picked the Carolina Panthers. Financially was probably a better deal. The Giants weren't willing to do that. So nevertheless, I'm not mad at him. I completely get it. I actually wish him nothing but the best. And I think the Carolina Panthers got a great head coach. So I guess I was wrong in saying that Matt Rule was a done deal. But wow, I wasn't expecting Carolina to do that kind of contract. But here's where I was right. So Joe Judge ends up being selected by the Giants, and what's funny is when we first kind of started this whole coach talk stuff, I mentioned that I wanted Steven Belichick, which was kind of a joke, but kind of at the same time I was being serious, and it's that I wanted a young guy from the Patriots organization, and that's what Joe Judge exactly is. He's a young guy, 38 years old. I don't find that to be too old, and he's from the Patriots organization. But I'm going to give you guys something that a unique perspective on this hire. I'm going to give you what I think is good and what I also think is bad. I'm going to give you guys something I don't think anybody else is going to give you here on YouTube, a different completely perspective that you can take from this. I was watching I don't even think it was a documentary. It was an HBO special, The Art of Coaching. I think that's what it was called. I think it was called The Art of Coaching. Basically, it was dealing with Nick Saban and Bill Belichick. He was going to get them guys together. They were going to do some interviewing style. It was shot very much like Hard Knocks, okay? And so, anyways, you sit down, you watch this little special, or whatever, and it actually was a really good. It actually was a really good thing that HBO did. I came away with it just blown away with how amazing Nick Saban and Bill Belichick are as coaches. They don't just have great talent on their teams. They're just great overall coaches as well. They just know so much about the game of football. And at the same time, I was actually surprised at how friendly they were to one another. I knew that they had a previous coaching experience together, but I didn't realize they were like best of friends. So, anyways, the perspective I want to give here is that Bill Belichick was at an Alabama pro day, and you can go see this scene for yourself. I'm not telling anything that's not out there. And Bill Belichick asked Nick Saban straight up, who's your best player here at the pro day? And Saban had mentioned that, nobody ever asked him that. Nobody ever brings those questions up to him. And so what's interesting is Saban obviously tells him who his best player is. And so Belichick has that type of relationship with Saban that Saban will give him that kind of information if asked. Well, what's interesting about Joe Judge here is Joe Judge had spent a few years at Alabama. Previously coming over I know he played college football at Mississippi State, but he had spent a few years with Alabama. and then now he's been with New England. So what that tells me in all this, a long about way, is that Saban obviously felt good enough to recommend Joe Judge to Bill Belichick. And to me, if I watch a documentary or a special or whatever of two great head coaches, and both of them have praises or have, think that Joe Judge is going to be a good head coach or could be a good coach, then absolutely. Then this could be a great thing. Obviously, the bad with all this is we don't know really what we're getting with Joe Judge, right? The receiving core for the Patriots this year was a disaster, but their special teams was spectacular, and he was a part of that as well. So, look, this could go either way. This is the same shit as Pat Shurmur. This could be a boom or this could be a bust. Simple as that. I can sit here and look at the glass half full approach instead of half empty and say, look, he is coming from the stable of both Saban and Belichick. And that's a big plus. I don't care what anybody else thinks out there. I don't care what you think about the New York Giants, who your favorite team is, who you think is smart and who you think is not smart. What I do know is Nick Saban and Bill Belichick are the wisest two men when it comes to talking football at a college level and a pro level, and they both agree that Joe Judge is a quality coach. Simple as that. So where Pizzle was right, we got a young guy from the Patriots organization. Hopefully he's ready for this step up. Hopefully he is. If he's not, because obviously being a special assistant, receivers coach, special teams coach, whatever, is completely different than being a head football coach. So, nevertheless, not mad at Matt Rule. Matt Rule did what was best for him. Insane contract, 7 years, $60 million. I'm actually glad the Giants didn't give him that, didn't throw up more. I don't want my coach to have a 7-year contract. I don't think any organization should want their coach to have a 7-year contract, unless your name's Bill Belichick. I don't think you should want that. I mean, to me, I think the sweet spot is about 5 years. But nevertheless, look, I'm hoping. Obviously Joe Judge wowed in the interview process, and this is our guy. So I'm open to it. I'm ready to roll, and I hope he's going to bring great things to the New York Football Giants. And let me be the one to welcome Joe Judge as the new head coach of the New York Football Giants.